A very good evening and welcome to Africa and Beyond Television Network. And we are looking at the latest developments within ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF conference started on the 13th and we had the Politburo sitting on the 14th and the Central Committee sitting on the 15th, that is today. And also there is a response from Team Mnangagwa, which was presented by Ziyambi, who is the Minister of Justice in the nation of Zimbabwe. And this is something very important which is happening. And remember, Ziyambi has become the Secretary for Legal Affairs. So here is the deal. Ziyambi replaced Patrick Chinamasa, who Mnangagwa felt was not going to deliver the much needed job. And also, Secretariat, Emmerson Mnangagwa replaced Obet Mpofu with that the Speaker of Parliament, Jacob Mdenda. So let us get straight to what happened. What happened is Mnangagwa responded to the allegations which were raised by VP Chiwenga. And we need to get into the facts so as to understand what really happened. So on our Facebook page, Africa and Beyond TV, we posted the full response of Emmerson Mnangagwa to General Chiwenga. So you can visit our Facebook page, Africa and Beyond TV, and you'll be able to see that response. But let us get straight to the issues which were raised, which are very, very pertinent and very important right here, because this shapes the direction of Zimbabwe politics. Remember, ZANU-PF is splitting, ZANU-PF is dividing, and ZANU-PF is crashing. We've seen people like Opam Chinguri, they've sided in Rigananda. We've seen people like Christopher Mchangwa or Jim Changwas, they've sided with Rigananda. So the situation is highly volatile, and what happens next depends on what the military likely will support. So that is what is very important. Whoever with the strongest military apparatus, we will likely become the winner of whatever which happened. So to recap, what happened is Vice President Constantino Chiwenga, he submitted a dossier to the ZANU-PF Politburo and accused Mnangagwa of corruption, party capture, and undermining party ideals. In return, Mnangagwa, via his legal secretary, Ziyambi, accused Chiwenga of incitement and treason, and he claimed that the dossier is an attempt to unconstitutionally remove a democratically elected president. Ndo pane nyaya yese hama dzangu zvina zvisina kumira zvakanaka within ZANU-PF. Things are no longer okay within ZANU-PF. So my network is quite slow. I wanted to show you some things on the screen, but because of how slow my network is, we are going to be dealing with this issue, and I have referred you to our Facebook page where you can go and find this document. We have posted it right there. So what is happening is the person with power is the one who is going to secure victory in this battle. So power comes from two dimensions. Power comes from the military. Power comes from the people, but the people are more powerful than the military itself, depending on who is the people. So what happens is, let us talk about the security forces. We are talking about the military, we are talking about the intelligence, the police, the presidential guard. What happens is, if the military splits or a faction throws support to General Chiwenga, if they refuse to obey the orders of Emmerson Mnangagwa, the dynamics will change. This is very important. If the military splits and refuses to take orders from Mnangagwa or defies Mnangagwa, that will be the starting point within ZANU-PF politics. So everybody is waiting to see what General Chiwenga has to offer. Okay. We can talk about ZANU-PF structures. We can talk about the Politburo. We talk about the Central Committee. We talk about the provincial structures. These organs, they matter the most when it comes to the political discourse. So when you look at the senior figures within ZANU-PF, they've shifted. They've gone to Mnangagwa's side. Chiwenga is left with just a few people around him. And he doesn't have notable figures around him. And the people around Chiwenga right now, they've been fired. Obet Mpofu, fired. Patrick Chinamasa, demoted. So Patrick Chinamasa is believed to be double-sided. Chiwenga cannot trust him fully. We also have military men who were within ZANU-PF. They were all fired. Which means General Chiwenga is on his own. That is the best language we can use. The man is on his own. But it depends on how he uses the knowledge he does know or he does have. The evidence is that does have to create connections, both within the securocrats and otherwise. So Chiwenga can no longer rely on ZANU-PF. So Chiwenga is now going to be used kumashura chinu chinonzi ZANU-PF, kuchiparadza from internally from within. So Mnangagwa on his side does have SADC, does have AU, except for just a few countries who might be opposed to whatever which Mnangagwa will be doing, but they won't do it publicly. They are likely going to support whatever which happens next if there is an attempt to depose Mnangagwa, or if Mnangagwa is removed from power. That is when you see other countries coming out to support whoever will be coming. So that is another disadvantage of General Chiwenga. Let us talk about public opinion. General Chiwenga does have an advantage of public opinion because people are tired of ZANU-PF. ZANU-PF is corrupt, people are hungry, people are angry, you know, they are eating alone, which means there is high possibility that General Chiwenga will have masses behind him. That is, if he is bold enough to call people into the streets, number one. Number two, if he is bold enough to say, Chamisa, let us work together and make sure that we deal with this matter. So if General Chiwenga manages to put together critical things, even if without the military support, if he manages to be bold enough to talk to the people, bold enough to talk to Nelson Chamisa, then you will see things happening and turning differently. So let us talk about the elites. The elites, they are on the fence. Business people, they are not happy with this administration which is there, but they cannot confront it right now because if things go wrong, they will lose. So they are waiting, sitting on the fence to tilt. Wherever the favor goes, they follow. So what is happening is, let us talk about the possible scenarios. What happens next? Mnangagwa is accused General Chiwenga of treason. Yes, this is it. Because I'm going to read to you the last part of the document at the end of this show. You understand what you're talking about right here. Mnangagwa is framing Chiwenga's dossier as treasonous, which means to call Vanatungwarara, to call Vanatagwirei and others Mbava or Zhigananda, it's treasonous according to this dossier, to this response. So what happens is, you go back to what Themba Mliswa was saying, you go back to what I said in the past about General Chiwenga. So you're going to see investigations being launched against the general. Those investigations are going to push the general out. Mnangagwa is going to remove and isolate the general. Now that Tagwirei is now a central committee member, what it means is Mnangagwa can now push Tagwirei as the next success or as the successor of General Chiwenga. We said there is a likelihood that Mnangagwa will replace General Chiwenga with Chagwirei as the vice president. And you replace Kembo Mohadi with PV. Those are the possible scenarios so far, according to the information circulating. So, Ziambi, according to some information, he has been given a task to draft charges against General Chiwenga. We are talking about things which are happening right now. So, what happens is, in the next few days, we are likely going to see some military figures being sidelined, being dismissed, on the perception that they are aligned to General Chiwenga, and loyalists will be promoted. So, a wave of pages within the party also is expected to target General Chiwenga's base, which means provincial leaders, retired generals. We have seen it happening to the generals who were working within ZANU-PF. MPs also are likely going to be paid. So the threats of force or intimidation might cause Mnangagwa also to hold temporarily his plans against General Chiwenga. So it depends on the security assessment. What does the security say about the temperatures in the country? Are people likely to go into the streets? Are people likely not to go into the streets? Yes, people will likely support General Chiwenga. But the question is, will the intelligence team give a report which says otherwise? So it depends on the report, what they perceive is the temperature across the nation of Zimbabwe when it comes to the support of the general. So Mnangagwa might delay firing General Chiwenga and issuing charges against him, and start by paging the military people aligned to him, then bring the charges, then fire him. So this is something which is very, very important. If the military elements refuse orders which are ambiguous and support General Chiwenga, you have leverage. So General Chiwenga does not need a lot of military people. He just needs a few. He just needs strategic people, especially the colonels. If General Chiwenga can convince colonels and captains, he's good. Yes. So if General Chiwenga can have enough intelligence, can have just a few colonels on his side, a few captains on his side, then everything is sealed. He can make a move with the support of the people. So what happens then is, from now, we wait to see the reaction of the general. And remember, Comrade Geza is going to address tonight at 8:30 p.m. We will be broadcasting live right here. And the protests are scheduled for the 17th. The 17th is expected to be the hottest day of the conference, which is going to end on the 18th. So the 17th to the 18th, those are the hottest days of this conference. And with everything happening, you are likely going to see General Chiwenga, a vote of no confidence against General Chiwenga, and boom, and also there is a possibility that you might see the conference which is ongoing being suspended. It's a possibility. If the security apparatus gives a report to say, okay, the political temperatures are too hot in Harare, there is a likelihood that people will get into the streets. He might postpone or he might cancel this conference. We talked about this whole issue. He might cancel it to say, okay, we are canceling this conference because of the volatile situation which is in the country. Then he remains in Harare. Because the biggest problem is both of them, they'll be in Mtari. Who will be in Harare? Mkomana 2023 anenge ari Harare nevanhu. And imagine kuti pakatika something muHarare ivo vari kwaMtari, and Harare becomes a no-go area for them. Bulawayo becomes a no-go area for them. What happens? Power neraenda. So these are things which are being discussed as we speak right now. So this is what is happening. Emmerson Mnangagwa responded to General Chiwenga and he accused him of a coup, of attempting a coup, and he accused him of treason. So we wait to see what happens. Comrade Geza is going to be addressing the nation. We see the next moves. Mnangagwa says or is defending Zvigananda zvake, and they remain untouchable. So this is very interesting. We wait to see what happens as we go forward. My sister Lucia, thank you very much for coming. Anzi Tinerai Mudanga Zero. Yes, Zurufana Torovana for sure. Zorovana Kushika ZANU-PF ya splitter, ZANU-PF ya Mamvemve. So interesting moments ahead. Let's wait to see what happens next. We have a lot of schedules ahead of us. At 2030, we have something which is coming. Comrade Geza will be addressing, and we will be live on this platform. And for those who want to see this whole document, go to our Facebook page, Africa and Beyond TV. You'll be able to see. We have posted it right there in full. So this is it. I love you all, and thank you very much for coming. Let us meet in other episodes and other broadcasts, because tonight, kwakaipa tine zvakawanda zvekutaura.